KANU was not really collapsed into Jubilee.
No. KANU
right.
cannot be. It's not allowed to be collapsed.
It still stands.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Richard Onyonka, then we come to Gladys to give us information right from Naivasha.
Thank you, Ribal. For me, I first of all actually agree with what my senior Honorable Pukisho has said. And number two, after attending the Kisii rally and listening to the stuff that was thrown at it, then we go to Kakamega, an incredibly fascinating experience. For me, that is actually when I think you saw we came up as Ford Kenya and made a decision that we are actually going to be part of this because we couldn't stop it. And on top of that, what the BBI is talking about are issues which affect our people. And these are things which can be discussed at another time. But if you look at what the Tanga team is doing, I think they are re-strategizing. I mean, if I was sitting in that meeting, I would most probably say, yes, some of us went to Mombasa. What happened? How did it come out? Number two, those who didn't go also had their rally in Mumias. They would also be looking at what actually happened from that rally. In general terms, like Senator Pukisho has said, you don't know what the deputy president says and what he does. So in reality, even when Mombasa was actually really a very good function, which I think for me, I was going to give Jubilee, I was going to give Tanga a lot of credit. They came out with dignity. If you were there, you would have felt it. There are things you feel when you're in a rally. There was initially that feeling of these people should not be allowed here. They have been saying all sorts of things. They've been against BBI. But there was a decision made by Prime Minister Raila and even the governors who were there. They said, no, sometimes we may disagree. Let this team just come on board. And of course, you saw Joho and Kingi just saying, please let us not come here and start screaming at each other, because then the implications would have become either way. For me, I thought Tanga coming, Murkomen coming and speaking, even when you may have said Baba and all those things, I think it showed that politicians in Kenya, if they actually wanted, we could be friendly with each other and still disagree. That for me is something that we need to begin to look at as a people.
Thank you.
That Murkomen came. A lot of people expected fire or people to even throw things at him or fight him or scream at him. And he spoke with dignity and he made his case. And other leaders there spoke and they left.
So this is dramatically different from what you expected actually from the forum?
Yes. Yes. Okay. In fact, to me, when I was listening the night before when I'd arrived in Mombasa and the morning when the plans were taking place, there were those who were like, we can't allow these people to come in. And there was those who were saying, no, these are our brothers. We may disagree with them. We are having these issues. Let us just allow them to. But
in terms of who was to appear on the podium, was there any vetting or
no,
any restriction?
It was messy. It was really messy. The Mombasa function was totally messy. We didn't have, I didn't have a place to stand. The podium was small. But again, it is because they changed from Tononoka to Mama Ngina Drive.
To Mama Ngina,
yeah, the logistics in 8 hours, I don't think they would have managed to.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that is really, but in terms of who was to speak and when they were to speak, there were people who felt this was looking like an ODM function. But again, Kalonzo came, again, Wetangula was there, the other parties was there.
Right. Let's see from Gladys. So Gladys, you were not in Mombasa, were you?
No, I was not in Mombasa because I had 3 functions in Uasin Gishu that I had to attend to.
Okay.
Okay, first let me make this clear once and for all, okay? That I was against the BBI and process and considered it an illegality insofar as it was going to manufacture a referendum in itself without using the law. So that's one. Number two, let me also, then when the report came out, we discovered it was a nothing document. It was a document of the Book of Lamentations of everything that we know in Kenya is wrong. that need solutions. That's why we agreed with it, because we said we agree with the problems that it raises. And so, can we also confirm it once and for all in this show, that my like-minded MPs support the BBI report as developed and presented and launched at the Bomas. Number 3, let me explain this again, and please write it down so that you don't repeat it again. The group that is meeting in Naivasha is not the Tanga team, as you call it. This is a group of 200 like-minded MPs. And yes, by last night, we had 167. The others were still going to arrive this morning or later last night. So these are like-minded MPs. We have MPs, and you'll see them today in the press conference, which will be taking place at around midday today. And you'll see, Mheshimiwa Nyonka, they are from your area, some of them. You will see that some of them are from Honorable Pogisho's area. You'll see that some of them are from Manyora's area. So these are not MPs from Jubilee or from ODM or from whichever party. These are like-minded MPs. And this is how we decided to think through this process. We said to ourselves, the way the BBI phase 2 is going, we found that we have no problem with BBI 1 as is, because it is the things we know is wrong with Kenya. We know there is unemployment. We know there is insecurity. We know the economy is doing bad. We're not going to argue with that. But we then asked ourselves, when this report came out, we were told to go to phase 2. When we went to phase 2, look at what happened in Bukhungu. And I pronounced it correctly, right?
Yeah, correct. That's good.
Yes. And then, after that, look at what happened in Mombasa. It's about uniforms. It's about song and dance. It's about rally calls. Referendum or no referendum. BBI, Kenya Moja. Those are rallying calls. Those are not solutions to the problems that bedevil our country. And then, if it's also about political might, it is not about issues. In fact, I must thank Governor Kingi, because his presentation in Mombasa is the only one that talked about the issues of the people of Pwani. He looked at the absentee landlord issue, historical injustice over land, the title issuance, the challenges that they have, the poverty, the fact that they have no stake and or do not benefit from the tourism and benefit from the port. That was very good work. That is now about the people. But everything else that happened there was about political might. What has a statement like saying, nani alitafuta yeye? What was that to do with wananchi? If it is a wananchi process to receive the views of the wananchi, are you going there to show off who is mightier than the other? When you hear words like, we don't want a Ferrari government, we want to change this country. When you hear words like, we women, we want to be at the top. That means if there is prime ministers, women must be there. Or we want an executive prime minister. When you hear words like, so what was happening, then another person says, we want BBI iwe chama tuongoza Kenya. That means we are going back to a single party dictatorship. So when you look at what happened in both Bukhungu and in Mombasa, they are talking at our people. They are not listening to our people. So don't lie to Kenyans that you are going there to listen to people or to seek views or to educate them about BBI.
Thank you.
Now let me finish. So because of that reason,
we need to take a short break, Gladys. Just finish briefly, yes. Then we take a short break.
Yes, when you talk about inclusive seats and you talk about 9 slots, yes. Then what happens to the other 32 communities in Kenya? Therefore, we decided as the like-minded MPs that we are going to begin to formulate a way that we'll engage in this BBI process, participate in it, educate our people about it, to ensure that it is people-centered, that the views of our people are represented in it.
Right, thank you. We need to take a short break, but just to ask you, and we'll be marinating on this before we take a short break, who really mooted this meeting in Naivasha? Because it seems it came, at the last minute. People are still trickling in, even as far as yesterday in the evening as well. So was it something that was planned, or is a counter to something that maybe all this...
It's very typical of how things operate in Parliament. In Parliament, we have different caucuses. So you might find that within one caucus, someone moots it and we agree. Then you talk to somebody else, another caucus, and they moot it to the others and they agree. Right. Then slowly the formation begins.
Thank you.